Raise your hand if you've ever been inspired to run a game like Critical Role or Dimension 20 and discovered it's harder than it looks. Let me tell you something. Your home game isn't the same as an actual play. And that's okay. It's probably better. So today we're diving into the differences between an actual play and a home game and what makes a home game so special. Now, there are many different levels of actual plays, all the way from like Critical Role and Dimension 20 that are professionally acted and produced, down to like just a couple of friends that decided, hey, we're playing over Zoom, we might as well just throw it up on YouTube or Twitch. But in today's video, I'm going to be kind of focusing on more of those like professionally produced actual plays, like the ones you probably think of when people say actual play D&D, like let's be honest, it's Critical Role or Dimension 20. So first off, let's talk about the audience. Like, who is the game for? So actual plays, even like maybe not so much the first season of Critical Role, but most actual plays, like they're making it with the audience in mind. You've got professional performers who are even if they say like we're playing this for ourselves, like they're aware there's a camera rolling, they're aware there's an audience there, and that's going to change the performance. Whereas with the home game, like your audience is you and the other players. There's no audience to impress, so you can take your time, you can make mistakes and focus on what the people around your table find fun and not trying to like appeal to a wider audience. Another thing, the players at your table probably aren't professional actors unless you happen to play with a bunch of theater folks like I do. And they don't have to be. Everybody can sit down and play at the table. There are all sorts of different levels of role play. Now, there are things you can do to improve your role play. We've made a whole bunch of videos talking about that. But you don't have to be amazing at role play to have a good time at your table. Okay, let's talk about resources. I know, watching, especially like Critical Role, Dimension 20, they have these amazing maps and miniatures and all these really cool accessories. And it can be very easy to be like, well, I have to have all of these things for my game to be good because they have all of those things for a game to be good. All of the accessories and like production value is not going to make a bad game good. They can add to a good game. But I've played in games that are amazing where it's just, we scribbled a couple of things down on a map and we didn't even have miniatures or anything like that. But we were telling an amazing story. We were having a lot of fun. And I think even sometimes in those moments, like even if we had all the amazing miniatures and stuff like that, it might not have been as much fun because like we got to advantage in it instead of looking at the miniature and being like, oh, this has to be what it looks like. So just keep that in mind. Like your home game doesn't need to have the stuff that an actual play often has. Or like, amazing maps if you're playing on D20 and artwork for your characters. Like if you enjoy drawing artwork or you want to commission somebody to do that, great. But that's not necessary for a home game. Scheduling can also be another thing. Like I know a lot of actual plays like because they have the audience aspect, there's going to be a like consistency, which maybe is something you can learn from your home game. But, it is at some level a job. So it's a lot easier for the players to like commit to, okay, I will set aside the time for this and not have anything else happening. Whereas most of us who are playing at home, like we have jobs and kids or other things in our lives where things are going to come up and you might not be able to have as consistent a scheduling. Now, I've talked about scheduling before, and I think having a consistent schedule can be super easy because it allows for people to plan around it. But don't beat yourself up if, like it's the holiday season and like, hey, we got to take a break for everybody's holidays. Even actual plays do that. I want to give a huge thanks to all of our patrons, especially Arvi. If you enjoy what we do, please consider heading on over to patreon.com/rollforinitiative and becoming a patron. You'll get some cool perks as well as be directly supporting us and allowing us to like make more videos and better content for you to enjoy. Finally, let's talk about rules. With an actual play, you have an audience, you have people in the comments who are going to be calling out the game master or the players, like if you did a rule wrong or you forgot to use an ability. And so that adds an extra pressure onto some people with actual plays, but also makes times where, maybe you're less likely as a game master to opt for rule of cool if it's an actual play than if it's just around the table. And the only people who care or are going to know if you didn't follow a rule are your fellow players. And you can all kind of agree, like, this is a really cool idea and moment. We're going to rule of cool this, or we're going to house rules this moment. At the end of the day, I still love actual plays. Like, I've gotten to play in a couple of actual plays. I'm not like, wouldn't consider myself like a professional actor, but I do have some acting experience and training. But it is different than the home games that I've played in. There's a little bit more pressure on me as a player for rules and performance and keeping the audience in mind. So it's nice for home games to just be able to like sit back and really enjoy it and just play and not have to have an audience in mind or, be like, oh, somebody made a comment in chat about like, I should have done something differently. I also think actual plays are great for bringing people into the hobby, for learning new systems, getting to like, oh, cool, I can watch somebody else play this and understand how this game is played before I sit down and play it. Also, for those of us who maybe don't have a current table, it's a way to still stay engaged with the hobby. But just keep in mind, I think actual plays can be really great to draw inspiration from, to look up to the game masters and performers as like, oh, I can get ideas from them or do things like them. But I would avoid comparing yourself to those game masters and players. Comparison can be the thief of joy. And what is going to be fun for your table isn't necessarily going to be fun for every table or wouldn't be a good fit for an actual play. And what the performers are doing, maybe you don't have the level, or that's just not going to be fun for you. So as you are enjoying actual plays and stuff like that, just, keep in mind an actual play is kind of its own thing, and a home game is just as amazing. So, with that in mind, like, what are some of your favorite actual plays? Are there any other kind of big differences you see between an actual play and a home game? Let's chat more about it down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Roll for Initiative. Bye! No, oh no, it's spinning. Okay. Am I too high? I'm too high. Oop. Perfect.